We're heading to one of my favourite new breweries. This is Beak and their Animals IPA. But what's it going to be like? Can it be up to the usual good standards of Beak? Keep watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. After the great beer we had from Verdant, I thought, well, let's stay with some of the big hitters. So we're going to Beak now, another one of my certainly my top 5 breweries. This is an Animals IPA, 6%. A little disappointed it doesn't tell me what hops are in it, so we're going to have to guess. So let's crack it open, get it in a glass, see what it's all about. One of the best beers I had last year was a Beak beer, so let's hope that this is good. I mean, there's so many Beak releases now. It's difficult to keep track of them. I could probably spend all month just drinking Beak beer because I have so many new good beers. Beer in a glass, well, it's a standard, very good looking IPA. Gold colour. We've got a bit of, I don't know if you've seen the picking this on the camera, like God rays coming through here. I don't know, just the light is amazing at the moment. So we've got a golden, orangey, yellowy, orangey, golden beer. 2 fingers of pretty much white and pretty much compacted head. Looks like it's got a good looking body to it. So let's see what it smells like. Well, a bit interesting. Not huge amounts of aroma with this. I'm getting subtlenesses. It also, yeah, I'm not quite sure what it's got in it. There's a sort of, I can smell something, sweetness, but it's difficult to really pinpoint sort of aromas. So let's see what it tastes like. Cheers, everyone. It's a strange beer, this. Flavours are all a bit subdued as well. Let's start with the good stuff. The body. Smooth, low levels of carbonation. It's up there with the top, sort of the body that you want from an IPA like this. It's smooth, low levels of carbonation, velvety sort of body. Flavour, I'm really sort of, I find it difficult to pick out a flavour. I'm flummoxed. I can't work out what that flavour is. There's a sort of earthiness about it. I'm getting a little bit of grapefruit, pink grapefruit, sweetness of grapefruit, the sweet pink grapefruit sort of flavour. I wonder if this beer actually is the one which has got this. I'm sure one of their beers had a experimental hop in it. It might be this one. It's a very sort of Talus-esque. If I'm thinking about it now, it's very sort of Talus-esque in terms of its flavour. So you're getting slight berries, but mainly sort of that pink grapefruit flavour that comes through right at the front as well. I would say that is the main flavour, that grapefruit, pink grapefruit flavour. But it's quite subtle. It feels like it's missing something. It's got a great body. It's smooth. It's very easy to drink. But I don't know. I mean, I just want more, a little bit more in terms of flavour. It's a good beer. I mean, it's good because it just is so smooth. It's got a lot. The body of this beer is like reminds me of a Daya beer, really. It's got that real sort of velvety sort of mouthfeel. But the flavours there's a little bit of earthiness. There's then grapefruit, a little bit of sweetness coming in, really. And it reminds me of a pink grapefruit. It's that sweetness of a pink grapefruit. And then you're waiting for that to sort of develop into something else, and it doesn't. You're not getting loads of citrus, lemons and limes or anything like that in there. You're not really getting tropical. You're getting a little bit of dry earthiness on the back end. And that's about it. It's one of those, and that's what it makes me think it's, I think, one of their an experimental hop, because it needs something with it. It needs something to sort of push it forward. It needs something to to just emphasize a little bit more of those sort of flavors. At the moment, it's sort of, it tastes like it's a single hop beer, and I think it's going to be an HBC number sort of hop beer. I'm getting grapefruit, pink grapefruit. It's like I've tasted it before. It's not quite Talus, but it's close to it. But I've had other beers, I'm sure that was an experimental hop that I've had where it's a little bit like Talus, and it's like that, but it's smooth. There's no bitterness, and it's just really pleasant. I mean, it's a difficult one to describe. You know, we've had some great beers where they're very big on the flavors. You know, if you're getting the tropical stone fruits, the citrus fruits, or you're going for the New Zealand, get the grape and the gooseberry and the lime and the sort of melon and all that sort of stuff. But with this, it's like, yeah, it's like you're getting grapefruit, but it's not overly sharp, overly harsh like some grapefruit flavor is really. But this is very much a pink grapefruit, but it's so sort of subdued and subtle, and my taste buds are sort of going, I want more. I'm a craft beer drinker. I want all those flavors exploded in my mouth. I think it's still a good beer. It's very drinkable. Yeah, I like it. I do like it. I mean, this is a sort of beer where the flavor score won't be as high, but the overall experience will be pretty good, because it goes down well. It tastes good. There's nothing horrible flavors about it, and still tastes that quality beer. I mean, you might have caught the last video I did for the Gus Nose from Verdun, and I sort of said on that, you know, I've had a lot of supermarket beers this month, but you drink something like this, and even though the flavors are a little subtle, a little, I wouldn't say dial back, but I think the flavour is subtle just because of the hop used, really, more than the amount of hop. And but you can tell it's got more to it than a supermarket beer. But at the same time, I just want more from it. It's just like, you know, we drink a lot of beer on the channel, and you know, I'm sure you guys are out there watching this and you drink a lot of beer, and sometimes you have a beer that you think there's nothing wrong with this beer, but it's not quite ticking the boxes, you know. I like it, but I wouldn't seek it out again. I've got to admit, you know, a lot of these beers, I very rarely have them more than once. The bottle shop type of beers, I wouldn't go out and buy, you know, even the Polly's beers. You look at the Polly's beers up here, right? There's some fantastic beers in here, but it's very rare that I will buy the same beer from Polly's more than once, because there's something else coming on new, you know, and this is what this one's like. And this is, to be honest, like Beak. They'll go, oh, we'll do this beer with this hop, this beer with this hop. And you think, oh, well, I'll try this, that, and the other. And I'm going on a bit, you know, I am going on a little bit, but I'm trying to get my sort of taste buds around this beer. It's good. The body is great. It's soft. It's up there with Beak's, you know, standard. They know how to make good beers in terms of getting the body right, getting the flavors right, getting the softness of and everything else. But I just think that the hop used here doesn't quite sort of do it for me, you know. And I think other people would taste it and go, yeah, it's okay, and it's, you know, I can tell it's a quality Beak beer, but the hop, I need something else. I want a bit more, you know. But you know, and this is what we do as YouTubers. We sort of overanalyze our beers. And if I'm overanalyzing this, it needs something else. It's still good. It's still better than good, you know. It's a very good beer, but it's not a great beer, because it just, the sort of heavens don't align in the fact that the flavors, and it just needs, it's missing something. I don't know what that is. Probably just another hop, just to give it something else, but that's what it's missing. But it's still good beer. So I've rattled on enough. But Beak Animals, I mean, Beak are a good brewery. These are, you know, I said in the last one, the Verdun one, if you've not had a Beak beer and you go into a bottle shop, or you go online, you go to Trembling Madness or the Fuss Club or Craft Metropolis, I'm just naming a couple of ones that I've bought from before, Premier Hop, another one. If you go on any of those and you see a Beak beer, and you see, you know, they're very distinct, they're cartoon type of imagery. check him out, because I think they're up there with some of the best breweries in the country at the moment. And to be honest, I know if I go to a bottle shop or I go online and I think, all right, there's some Beak beers there, I'm going to look at them and go, well, I'll see what the hops are, and if I know what the hops are, and I think, yeah, I like those hops, I'm going to go for them because I know they'll make a good beer. And Beak are up there. They're up there with some of the top breweries in the country. So give them a go if you haven't tried them already. If you've had a recent Beak beer, let me know in the comments what you think of it. And I've hit 10 minutes and I'm rattling on a little bit, so I'm going to stop now and get some scores. So let's get them scores, and don't forget, keep on rocking, folks. Okay, the scores are in for Animals. It's a bit of an animal. Beak IPA. This is not a bad beer, but it's just a bit weird. I'm getting all these God rays coming through now. I feel that I'm some sort of higher deity or whatever. But let's get the scores before the sun just completely ruins the whole picture. Starting with, you know what it is, aroma. Appearance. Flavour. Value for money. Overall experience. And that gives a total score. It's a bit of a funny one, this, but a total score that's recommended, not highly, but just recommended, a score of. Hope you like this video. I'm sorry I a little wheeled on a bit. It's just one of those sort of beers that just, it's difficult to really put your finger on what it's all about, but I still think it's a good beer. I think it's just not great, and I just think it's the hop choice. It just is not right. It's not right. It's an experimental hop. I'm sure it is, and it's one of those sort of beers that needs something else, a couple more hops just to elevate it into a better beer. So if you like the video, even though I don't think it's my finest video I've ever done because I've whittled on a lot, then give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Lots of great beers coming up for review. So hope you enjoy it. And until the next one, keep on rocking.